Camera 3.
Okay.
Aloha and welcome to a special episode of Community Matters. I am your co-host, Justine Espiritu, and today I have a special co-host. Kendra Chong is the administrative assistant with Big Brothers Big Sisters Hawaii. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so today is a special episode. I recently was working with Big Brothers Big Sisters Hawaii with a program called the Holomua Program. So we're going to get into a little bit of detail about what that is about. Big Brothers Big Sisters is kind of known for mentorship, but they actually have a number of programs. So we're kind of going to get some more information about that. But I want to specifically focus on Holomua. It's a new pilot program that's pretty distinct. And so I have on today as guest a big sister and little sister match of the Holomua program to share their experience with us. And before I introduce them, I want to remind our thousands of viewers at home, you can be a part of the conversation. Tweet in any questions and comments at ThinkTechHigh. And if you read the newsletter today, my original co-host was supposed to be Tyler, but since we're talking about college and mentoring and prep, I got in touch with some of his college roommates, and he didn't want to be on anymore. But we miss you, Tyler, and without any further ado, I want to introduce Stacy Paris and Sydney O'Neill.
Hello.
Hey.
Awesome. Glad you joined this.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to represent the program.
You're very welcome. Now we can get started.
Yeah. So I want to start with a little bit of background about Big Brother Big Sister in general. So if you can kind of share that and let us know the details of the two programs that they're primarily known for.
Yeah, absolutely. So Big Brothers Big Sisters is basically, we focus on at-risk youth, and basically we try to pair them up with volunteer role models to have that positive effect and have them connect into a great relationship and a friendship that will really affect them in a great way, as you can tell from the match that we have here today with us. So we have two main programs that are our school-based and community-based program. School-based is basically through selected schools on Oahu, and we also branch out to a few other islands, Maui, Kauai, and Hawaii Island. Yeah. And we have our community-based program, which basically people volunteer, and we get families who call in, for people to be interviewed to become littles, and we have awesome case managers and a great team that put together great matches, and it's been really great. Big Brothers Big Sisters is awesome at connecting amazing matches and putting them together so strategically so that they can best benefit from our program. Yeah.
And so who do we have as bigs and littles in that program? What's kind of the age range of littles there?
So for community-based, it's going to be from 6 years old to 18 years old for our littles, and for school-based, it's elementary schools matched with volunteers from high schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So a different dynamic there.
Yeah.
And so the way the community-based program works, which I think they're most known for, and when I talked about working with Big Brothers Big Sisters, this is kind of what folks thought it was, the community-based program where you have an adult, and so they're matched up by Big Brothers Big Sisters, and then they kind of get together independently.
Yeah.
So can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So they, once they're matched, they have their first match meeting. Then after that, they can connect with the little and the little's parent to coordinate an outing. So they have the freedom to, go out and, for instance, horseback riding. And we even have case managers that put together match or activities for our matches, stuff like that. And we have great sponsors that help us out with great activities for our matches to do too. So yeah.
And so in that case, the matches are kind of independent.
Yeah.
And Big Brothers Big Sisters, the case manager checks in by phone every month.
Yeah.
There's some schedule of that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the school-based program, can you talk a little more about how that's set up with the high school and the elementary school? How often do they meet up, and what kind of stuff are they doing?
Yeah, sure. Well, I was actually in one of the school-based programs at Pro Ridge Elementary. I was connected with from Aiea High School, which was where I went. And I got to it. We created a club at IA High School, and that connected with the school-based program. Yeah, and then so it basically we would meet up for 1 hour every Monday, not including holidays and stuff like that. So it's a lot less time, and when I was in it, I definitely wish that I could have more time, with my little. It's a really, really great thing though, and even though it is only 1 hour for 1 week throughout the entire school year, I mean, it's definitely beneficial for the little and even for myself.
And that's enough time to kind of build a relationship and,
Yeah.
and build trust and actually get a connection.
Yeah, more than you would actually think. I mean, within that 1 hour, it's just, you really look forward to it, and the littles look forward to it too, to seeing, their big brother or big sister. And for that 1 hour, it's just, helping with their homework, whatever activity that the case manager has set up, and whatever it is, it just turns out to be just awesome.
Yeah, cool. And then I want to, in a little bit later, we'll get into a little more detail about your kind of specific experience with that.
Yeah.
But let's bring in Stacy and Sydney. And so if you want to give a brief overview of the Holomua Program, kind of hearing what that typical program within Big Brothers, Big Sisters is, and you want to
So
shot at
I'm a
describing.
big sister, but I'm matched with a high school student. And the Holomua program is really about getting high school kids interested in college. And so we're acting as mentors to share our experience in college and how we did, and to be able to guide them through that process, because it's a very overwhelming time for kids in high school. And the way I got started in the program was somebody who was on the board of directors asked me to do it because he thought I would be a good fit. And I didn't know anything about it. I think like so many other people out there, I thought Big Brothers Big Sisters was only with the younger kids. But this is a new program. And I thought, you know what? I think that might be a really good fit, and I think I'd like to do it. And they matched me with Sydney. And it's just been a wonderful fit. What do you think?
It has been. Oh, yeah.
No pressure. What do you think your match?
Yeah, exactly. And so the way it works is it's really, we do outings once a month, once every 2 months, and we communicate via email. And we can talk to each other anytime if she has questions or if she needs some advice on something. Hopefully I give her the right advice. Yeah, and for me, it's been about 1.5 years, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm very happy they asked me to do it. Yeah.
So, okay, Sydney, then can you talk a little bit about how you found out about the program and what kind of attracted you to it?
So I was in my freshman year. I was part of this club at school called College for Every Student, or CFES. So my advisors introduced this Big Brothers Big Sisters mentoring program to us. Because mentoring through leadership, I think it is one of like the pillars of CFES. So I was like, okay, might as well. I was a freshman. I was super eager to join like everything. So I was like, okay, I'll do this. So I signed up. And then my social studies teacher, who was also another advisor for CFES, she like invited us to this presentation of the program. So I went with my other friends. So that's pretty much how I found out about it. Yeah.
That's awesome, but there's so many different clubs,
Yeah.
and you're also involved with sports or music.
I was in cross country earlier this year, and then I'm in a few other clubs too right now, yeah.
Yeah, and hearing kind of what you students in the Holomua program are also involved with, I'm so shocked and stoked that you guys still are carving out some time in your busy schedule to kind of see that value. So for you, and I feel kind of out of loop about what's that mindset, if you're currently a junior.
Yeah.
Well, even to like enter this program as a freshman, I'm kind of curious of what the value you saw in that even at 9th grade. Like, was it a scary idea, the whole application process, or just like?
I don't think it was scary. I was mostly excited. A lot of my friends were going into it, so I was like, okay, might as well. I asked them, I was like, are you guys gonna do this? They're like, yeah. Sounds cool. So I was going into it because I thought having an adult relationship with someone who wasn't my parent would be really valuable, especially with someone who's interested in the things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the value I saw in it, especially as a freshman. I was set on college. I was like, I'm going to college. I know I have to get there eventually, so I knew I needed like a support system. So yeah.
That's awesome. I think what's really great about your match again and the role of Big Brothers, Big Sisters is we have these kind of experts who So the enrollment process is students apply to the program, and then we do kind of an extensive interview to kind of get to know what your interests are, what you're looking for, and then we kind of keep the students in a queue. And then on the other side, we have adult volunteers, and we do an extensive interview and get your interests and your expectations. Because one thing that I love about the program and Big Brothers Big Sisters in general is they want this to be a good experience, not only for the students, but they want it to be one for the volunteers as well. Everyone involved is a volunteer. And so they take extra care to make sure it's a good match. And I think you guys are exceptional. It's great that it mixed where your interests are in film and journalism, or
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
okay.
Both of those, yeah.
And then your experience is in
Yeah, I guess I didn't mention that at the beginning. So I got a journalism degree in college at the University of Hawaii, and then I went on to work at KGMB for almost 20 years, and I left 6 years ago to be more of a mom, and so now I've started my own company called Media Communications, and I do production and writing work and public relations. And so I have so much experience in the news industry that it's really been beneficial. I'm super happy they paired me with Sydney, because when you sign up for the program, you don't know who you're going to get. So I had no idea that I was going to get somebody who also wanted to work in television. I think she's interested more behind the camera right now, but maybe in the future we can talk her into switching that around.
Well, it's a good start.
Right here.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been a great experience for me, and I've been able to help guide her with choices and experience, and she asks me questions and I tell her exactly what it's like. So yeah, it's a very, very nice fit, I think.
But it's cool because the whole setup of the Holomua program, it's kind of distinct from the other ones, where it's even, you're talking about the school-based being less of a time commitment. This one's also trying to be conscious of time. So how it is the relationship is primarily email correspondence. And so the program, we meet up once a month, and that's the position I was currently filling in for was kind of coordinating these I call them field trips. We do too. And so everyone, as opposed to the community-based program where it's just you and your match doing your own guided or not guided activities, Holomua program comes together as a group. And so we do an activity for maybe 4 to 5 hours. And so how does that work? Do you guys find, in terms of, if we have this focus of the program to talk about college and career and, try to build a close relationship where you can ask questions, where does that fit into that? Face-to-face time or in the email?
I think the reason that we do these excursions, or field trips, as you call them, once a month, sometimes once every 2 months, depending on the schedule, is to get the bonding time. That's where we spend time together. That's where we really get to know each other. We share experiences, create memories, and that's when you get to know each other really well, is through these outings. And then I think is when you start to feel more comfortable. I get to know you, you get to know me, and then from there, we also, in between there, we do these emails. We call them email prompts, which is once a
supposed to be once a month. Is
Yeah,
that what it is? Does it feel like once a week?
It's been very busy. I'm losing track of time, but and so it's through there that they prompt us, the program does, to ask questions of each other, have a focus, whether this week is on college or next month is about personal experiences. What traits do you want to emulate, or what are you hoping for out of college? I mean, these are just examples. And that's, I think, where we get a little bit more into the nitty-gritty of the mentoring part, and we go back and forth on these emails. And again, what I like about it is the fact that I think during emails you can say a lot via email, and you can certainly be open and honest. And I know I am, and I think Sydney is too. And but then it also gives us a chance when we do these outings to talk about everything and anything, really.
Well, I'd like to hear from you kind of your experience with the prompts, like what prompts are particularly, or subject areas are you most interested, or that you have found helpful, or even just email as a forum to kind of build a relationship on. I'm always curious of I worry about writing these prompts. I'm like, I don't want to make it like another homework assignment for you guys because you guys are so busy. So can you talk a little bit about your feelings about that?
So the emails are kind of interesting, especially since, it's like the digital age. So everyone's pretty, good at that, especially the littles. I like the prompts where we kind of ask, just get life updates. That's always cool. Especially college. I think there's like the college checklist. Yeah. That's super helpful.
So what kind of stuff is on the college checklist?
So like college researches. What else is there? Tests, right?
Yeah, SATs, ACTs, scheduling.
A bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's been pretty helpful, I think. It made me think about my future more, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it allows them to focus on that. School, there's so much going on between your classes and your personal relationships and your friends and maybe your boyfriends. This gives them an opportunity to focus on college and to think about it maybe more than they wouldn't otherwise. And I like that. Yeah.
Can you share anything, or maybe you don't have to get into details, but generally, is there anything you've learned about the application process or things you started thinking in relation to college that maybe wouldn't have come into your head if you weren't in this program? Like things that you maybe asked Stacy about that you wouldn't ask your school counselor.
Right. I think a lot of the things that I might ask you is, well, especially because you went into journalism and everything, so it's like I could kind of get your experience because I'm into that, So that's something I couldn't ask my school counselor. I could just ask her for her first-hand experience with that. But yeah.
Yeah. And then what about just one thing I'm curious about and what I like to kind of hear from people is even outside of, what you want to major in, but just like college life in general, or, for me going to college, that was the first time I moved away from home, and I wish I had someone I could been like, how do you cook or something? Like thinking of it now, it would have been so cool to have a mentor to kind of hash that all out before I left for college.
I was joking earlier. I went to UH, so I didn't go to school like you did, but I wish somebody had told me how terrible parking is. In Manoa, I spent so much money on parking tickets. I had no idea. I mean, those are little things. I think, what's it like to go from class to class? How hectic is that? How social do you get with the people? Gosh, I'm trying to think of the things that I wish I knew too. If I had had a mentor. Just how crazy it is between once you choose your major, when you're a junior, a sophomore, how much more difficult the classes get in the upper level classes and how that works. Because it's very different from taking your core classes. I would have wanted a little bit more information about that, I think, for example.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much everything. Because in school, basically all we kind of talk about is, what is your major? That's
and there's so much more.
There's a lot more. So it's like, where do you go to find out?
Yeah, awesome. So we're going to take a quick break, and then I want to talk a little bit just about mentorship in general and kind of what we all see is worthwhile about it. Okay, thanks.
Aloha, I'm Jim Shawn, the host of Think Tech Hawaii's Education Movers, Shakers, and Reformers, interviews with people who have special insights into education from preschool through adult education. We are live streaming every Wednesday at noon, also posted on YouTube and the Hawaii Educational Policy Center. Please join us weekly for some of the amazing, innovative movers, shakers, and reformers in education in Hawaii. Aloha.
Aloha! How you doing? It's me, Angus McTech, wishing you to welcome and join us to see us on Hibachi Talk on Think Tech Hawaii. Join my co-hosts, Gordo the Tech Czar and Andrew the Security Guy, every Friday from 1300 to 1345. We look forward to seeing you. We'll talk tech and we'll have some wee bit of fun. And remember, let your wing gang free wherever you be. Aloha!
Welcome back to a special episode of Community Matters. I'm your co-host, Justine Espiritu, and this is my co-host,
Kendra.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely.
So again, we have our guests Stacy Paris and Sydney O'Neill, and we're talking about Big Brothers Big Sisters in general, mentorship program, and also highlighting the Holomua program. So I kind of want to get back to really fast with their core programs. Talk a little bit more to Kendra about your experience of, in the school-based program, you're there once a week.
Yeah.
And talk about kind of more specifically what kind of activities you do and what kind of development and progress that you can actually surprisingly see.
Sure. Well, a lot of our matches have to do with the consistency of time spent together. So I've been with my little brother for 3 years with the school-based program at Pearl Ridge Elementary. And yeah, you go it was every Monday for 1 hour, and it just feels too short. But I mean, the 3 years, it just flew by. So when we go in there, in the beginning, it's more just getting settled, helping them with their homework a little bit, and every day it's something different. So we even have like art projects, outdoor, free play, any kind. You never know what you're going to expect, but whatever activity it is, it just turns out to be great. Everybody's involved, and you just get to spend time with your little, so it's just really great.
And I mean, I get a little nervous now. Maybe I feel old, but like when I've gone to a couple of the school-based sites, and even at this program, when I meet with younger people now, I'm a little bit like, are they gonna like me? Or like, so I mean, in younger kids, they're so blunt. They're like, you smell like poo. They're just like telling you that. So how do you like build that trusted relationship with them? Or do you find that they kind of instantly just like, they love that attention and automatically kind of connect with you? Or
Well, I mean, no, it's different with every match. I mean, and that's the great thing about the case managers that we have on our team, and they really know how to pair certain people with certain littles. So, I mean, for me, I feel like I'm more of an extrovert, and I like to talk. But my little brother, actually, when I first matched with him, he's really shy. He didn't really want to participate in the activities, and so you never know, like they said, like who you're gonna get matched with. You don't know what to expect, really. So he was really shy and timid at first, but I mean, as you continue to just build that relationship, communicate, and just every week, coming in for that 1 hour, it truly makes a difference. And with the time spent with him, I mean, our relationship completely transformed, and I feel so grateful to be able to have watched him grow up. I mean, he's in the 6th grade now. He's so outgoing, and I found that he wants to participate and just do the best that he can in all of the activities, and he's just really blossomed. And it's so amazing to look back at how he was when we first started out and to see the young man that he's developing to be. Yeah,
and you recently got to like reunite with him.
Yeah, it was amazing. My supervisors allowed me to go visit him, give him a birthday present, and just being able to see him. I mean, we actually discontinued our match because of conflicts in time with our site program. So being able to go and visit him, I mean, I was nervous, and it's been over the summer break, and I hadn't seen him, so that whole time, I was just like, oh, is it gonna be awkward, but then when I saw him and I saw his mom too, and we hit it off. Like we've been matched for 3 years, and
how many years ago was that?
Were we matched?
Like from the match ending to when you were reunited?
Oh, it was about so the end of the school year, so maybe June, and we reunited in October. So.
Oh, okay. Only a couple months.
Yeah, but it's just nervous. You don't know how it's gonna go, and the match ended. So, but it was amazing getting to see him, and he's doing so well in school and sports. So
and is he
great.
like able to like articulate or appreciate that?
He's soft-spoken about the appreciation of our relationship. We don't talk. I mean, that's kind of how siblings are. You don't really like, oh, I love you.
Yeah,
But I think we both, in the back of our mind, know how special our relationship is, and we really value what we have. Yeah.
Because that's one of the things we talk a lot about in the organization of. especially when these matches, they only have so much time to spend together. And sometimes they're like, oh, I don't know if this is doing anything or if this is worthwhile or if I'm being helpful. And we always kind of try to remind them that, sometimes you're making an impact and you just don't realize it till afterwards, or maybe they'll appreciate it later.
Yeah.
But can you talk a little bit, we set up this program to kind of give the little sisters some guidance stuff, but what do you get out of it?
I think I get out of hopefully making a difference. I mean, to be able to help her at all with any questions about relationships and college and a school project that she's working on, anything. I mean, there's so many things that I wish I knew in high school that that nobody told me, and I'm hoping that I'm able to help you in that way.
Yeah,
and I'll give you an example. She had to do this 8-minute video project for school, and she emailed me and said, can you help me? I'm not quite sure what angle I should take and how I should go about doing it. And I was able to give her some guidance, some questions to ask the people that she was going to be interviewing, how to help focus a story, what you need to shoot, what you need to consider, because I had so much experience there. And that was great to be able to give back that way. And I think it worked, right?
Perfect person to ask.
Yeah.
Thanks. Totally, yeah.
That's cool. And then, so what would you tell maybe students that were thinking, your peers, about the program, of why you think it's beneficial?
I think it's beneficial to my peers, like Castle students especially, because I learned so much already from my mentor that I never thought I'd learn. And it's a good relationship. Like we can talk about anything. Like it's so we're super open. And I don't really have a relationship like that besides with like my best friends maybe, but they're not as mature. Yeah.
Well, I think that's
You're not
cool.
calling me old.
But that's what's cool and something I've really enjoyed about the program, this idea of like generations kind of sharing and getting to know each other. To me now, I am not in high school anymore, shocker, but sometimes I feel like I'm like the same size. But it's cool even for us to get that insight of the high school experience. It's important, I think, to be in touch with different generations and even going to the school sites and being around like even elementary school kids. It's great to just get back to that perspective and maybe that a lot of that openness. But it's cool that you can kind of see that value, because sometimes I wonder, like, these high school kids, I can't believe they want to spend some of their Saturdays hanging out with a bunch of old people.
Well, we should say too that we do a lot of really fun things. We've got a UH volleyball game, we putt-putt golf, we did a low A patch, what else have we done?
We do community service stuff.
We do community service, beach days.
We eat.
We cook.
Eating.
So it's really fun things that you would want to do anyway. So it's a nice excuse to get out of the house on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning. And we have a lot of fun together. It's funny because to go back to your question, what do we get out of it or what do I get out of it? I think partly too, I think she helps me feel young.
That's important.
And it keeps me connected to what kids in high school. For instance, the last time we got together, I asked her, I was curious about bullying on the web and everybody on Facebook and your phones and some of these apps you've heard about in the news that are kind of naughtier. And so I'm able to go to her for those kinds of questions and answers, and she's able to share that with me because I have a son who's 11.
Okay, I was going to ask about that.
We're going to be there in high school in just a few years, and so anything I can get from Sydney is really helpful as far as I'm concerned.
Great. Cool. Yeah. So again, how the program works, some of our last activities have been, was that just Saturday?
Yes.
We went and did a cooking class at Down to Earth. Here we have up on the screen. Last month's meetup, we were at the Spalding Art Museum, which was fun. I showed this one because we were so excited about having a male match in the group now. And so again, for us too, it's been interesting. When I joined, the Holomua Program had 8 matches, and there's kind of a goal to bring it up to about 20, and we're at 13 now, which is great, and having some male representation in there.
Yeah.
I saw that
It's
for the
great
first time
too.
Saturday. I thought that was really great to have, men doing it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just want to note right quick that Justine has been doing an amazing job. I mean,
Thank you.
getting us up to 13. I know it doesn't sound like a high number, but I mean, it's for a pilot program like this. I mean, it's such a great. I mean, this is evidence that, I mean, it's successful and it's going great. And I mean, Justine has been so passionate about what she does, and it's just been really great having her.
With the excellent groundwork laid by Renee and Daniel. Thank you
Absolutely.
for all your help. So, yeah.
Well, if Sydney doesn't end up going to college, then I will not have done my job.
Well, okay, that brings
up.
up a good point. Sometimes, and especially you said Big Brothers Big Sisters is some of their programs are kind of aimed at underserved youth. It's interesting with the Holomua program. Are we just attracting kids that are already or students that are already on that track? So can you talk a little bit about that, since you were kind of already, we talked about kind of trying to inspire Castle students. Again, well, let's actually take a quick break, and then we're going to talk more about those demographics of who's joining the program. So we'll be right back.
Aloha! Hello, my name is Patrick Bratton. I'm host of Global Connections here at Think Tech Hawaii. We broadcast live every Thursday at 1 p.m. We bring Hawaii to the world and the world to Hawaii, talking about international events and various things of interest to the audience. Please join me. I look forward to talking with you and having you get to meet some of my guests. Aloha.
Aloha, my name is Kirsten Baumgart Turner, and I'm the host of Sustainable Hawaii at thinktechhawaii.com. We air live on the internet and also on Oceanic Channel 16. I'd invite you to come for a fresh new show every Tuesday from 12 to 1 o'clock. I try to bring on guests that give us a different viewpoint on aspects of sustainability in Hawaii, as well as trying to unpack some of the difficult concepts of measuring and achieving sustainability, particularly with regard to sustainable economic growth and prosperity in Hawaii. Please join us every Tuesday from 12 to 1 p.m. Mahalo, aloha.
Hi guys, welcome back. This is your co-host Kendra Chong, and we're here with co-host Justine.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for joining me. You did. You're a natural. So Kendra's here co-hosting a special episode of Community Matters today. We're in our last segment. We're talking about Big Brothers, Big Sisters, a one-to-one mentorship program that focuses on matching students and young people with adult volunteers to kind of influence them and guide them into being healthy, happy, responsible adults. Again, we're doing a special focus on the Holomua program because it is a new pilot program that focuses on Castle High School students, or high school students matched with adult volunteers, and kind of getting them focused on thinking about college and career. So again, our guests today are Stacy Paris, who is a big sister in the Holomua program, and Sydney O'Neill, who is a student or little sister in the Holomua program. So we were just kind of before the break talking about, I'm wondering, this program that's trying to influence and encourage Castle students to think about college and career. Were you already kind of destined for college? Like that's always been on your radar already?
So I remember going into my 9th grade year. I remember my 8th grade teacher, actually, who was my NJHS advisor. She said, go into your first day of high school with the college mindset. So that's why I joined College for Every Student, and through CFES, I learned about this program. So yeah, I think a lot of people who were in CFES switched over to Big Brothers Big Sisters was through that club. Yeah.
So what would you say is the difference then? Like what does Holomua, what kind of gap does that fill in that maybe that club doesn't?
Definitely mentorship, of course, because that's one of the pillars of CFES is mentorship through leadership. So I think you can't really mentor, well you could, but you can't really mentor someone who's the same age as you.
Okay, so your club is all just
all high
other
schoolers. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so I think we used to mentor maybe sophomores. If you're a junior, you would mentor a sophomore. But It's different though. It's different to have a big and then a little because of that age difference and the experiences and stuff like that. So I think that would be the gap in the club.
Okay.
Yeah.
So other students in the club, do you see that they don't have adult mentors?
Students who aren't in the program.
Or students that are in the club,
In the club,
but not in the
not
program?
I guess you could say that. Yeah. But I know a lot of people are kind of close to our advisor.
Okay.
Or maybe their teachers are their adult mentors too.
Yeah.
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 There is a lot of, I think there are a lot of roles in schools of, I mean, even what that story you just told you
Yeah.
of a counselor telling you on your first day of high school.
Yeah.
No one ever told me that.
Nobody
Yeah.
I didn't think about
Yep.
college till like the beginning of senior year.
Me too.
Like that's so that's
Yeah.
cool that you even that one, which
Yeah.
kind of talking about mentorship of just even just having someone to just offer you those kind of suggestions and
Yeah.
and maybe sometimes your parents are so involved with every other just keeping you alive at that point that they can't do that. Or maybe you need someone else besides your parents. Maybe not even a rebellion thing, but
Right.
that
Yeah.
idea of another adult kind of encouraging that.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
how would you think we can attract more students?
I know. I was thinking about that too because I think this program would be so beneficial to people at my school. I think maybe one way to attract it is presentations again because I know that one we had a lot of people come to my freshman year. A lot of people came to like listen.
Who was presenting? Was it Big Brothers Big Sisters presenting, or was it other students that are in the program?
It was
that
Big
kind of
Brothers
like-
Big Sisters. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were presenting it. Also, maybe just students talking about it. I think,
Yeah.
like you said, that would be a good way.
So we could have
Yeah.
current little sisters
Yeah.
do presentations.
Yeah.
I think that
So
would
are
be
you
good.
volunteering?
Yeah. No pressure.
Okay, so then again, just to give us a little more insight with having this program, do you see that there is a big need of, and then maybe beyond even just your peers of other juniors and sophomores and seniors that you know at Castle, can you just throw out like a ratio of how many of your peers are thinking of going to college or how many are on the fence?
I was surprised. I think most of my junior class are all looking at college.
Yeah,
I know a lot of the
okay.
senior class right now, a lot of them have applied, like a lot of seniors that I know have applied already and stuff. So I would say more people are thinking about it.
Cool.
Like
That's
by
awesome.
a lot, like a lot.
That's good to
yeah.
hear. Because this program kind of started out of Castle. What's unique about it and why we're focused on Castle is the school itself is kind of going through a revision. So they made it a goal. We want more students graduating and we want more Castle students going on to college.
Right.
And Big Brothers Big Sisters at the time didn't really have a role there, but they happened to be at this meeting and so this relationship formed. And we're super thankful because one of the things when you talk about maybe expanding it to other schools, an important factor is having a really great contact at the school. And Amanda in the College and Career Readiness Center is an awesome resource for us that also connects us with the students. And that's interesting too. I feel like I didn't utilize a counselor, that even high school, college
Right,
counselor. But since you had that kind of on your radar from the beginning, did you go out of your way freshman year to like establish a relationship with her so she could kind of get to know you and make recommendations? Or
I always thought about it, but I was always so scared to go. And I was like, oh, they're too busy with the seniors or they're too busy with the juniors. So I was like, I'll just wait. But it's funny because the other college career counselor, Mr. Chi, he's also my cross country coach. So I kind of was like, okay, if I join cross country, I'll have a relationship with him. So now I do. And so now I always feel less nervous, I guess, to go in and talk to him. I mean, my friends always go in and he's super open. He's like, yeah, you guys can ask me anything.
yeah, that's great. They open up that room and
Yeah.
just are really open and inviting. And
Yeah.
and it's interesting because they don't, and I think you can't pester people to be like, think about college, but if adults kind of just leave it open and just, establish that relationship first. Well, that's cool. I want to ask you like a million more questions, like the inside extras, but yeah.
Well, I agree with you because I always knew I was going to go to college, But I didn't really seriously start thinking about it until my senior year because we couldn't afford to go to a mainland school. So I always knew I was going to go to UH. But I didn't really think about it. I didn't think about what my major would be. I didn't think about ways to approach it, study habits, note-taking skills, other options out there. Would it be better to go to community college first for 2 years and then go to UH? I mean, there's all kinds of things to think about. There's so many options out there for people. I didn't have anybody in my ear guiding me that way and forcing me to think about it earlier than mid-senior year.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it kind of helpful, at least on my end.
Yeah.
Whoops, sorry, my mic. is to get them focusing on it a little bit earlier than they would otherwise, certainly. And keeping them, I think the important thing is keeping them on track. That's the thing.
I think that's important. I mean, we have these checklists, even we have a checklist for freshmen of things to just keep on their radar. For me, when I'm doing check-ins with some of the freshmen, I feel a little bad about, how's your college checklist going? I don't even know that question. Like, it's hard to find that balance. So then I'm kind of curious from your perspective, how do you kind of be open and kind of probe a little bit about that process without being an overbearing adult? Like, how do you approach that?
I just ask. I mean, I'm super honest. I think she knows that, and she's really honest with me. So sometimes I'll just email her, and I'll just say, hey, how you doing? You know, where are you with this? I mean, where have you narrowed it down? Where, you know, what are you thinking about now? Have you thought about your SATs? Have you started practicing for your SATs? Where are we in that process? So I'll email her, or every time we get together. Unfortunately, I always bring it up. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I do. But I think she expects that. I think that's part of it.
That's
I mean,
part of it.
that's not the first thing we talk about. We laugh, we joke, we have our experiences, and we bond, and then we get a little bit into that. So I don't think that it's too invasive, right?
No,
Yeah.
no,
Or overbearing?
No,
Yeah, or
not
overbearing.
at all.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I think that college is really important. I mean, I would never have gotten a career in news if I didn't graduate from college.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think is interesting too.
Yeah.
To me, I kind of was expected to go to college, but I didn't figure out what I was doing until I was there. It's this like amazing time of just things getting thrown at you. You don't see what opportunity. So we actually only have 2 more minutes. So maybe if we could just go down the line, starting with Kendra, of what's kind of a tidbit about college or career that's either insight you want to share now with our hundreds of thousands of viewers, or something you wish you had known.
I think part of me leading up to going to college, I just didn't know much, and it would have been nice to know, I guess, the breakdown of, you know, what's really important about going to college. And I think for me, when I was in college, I didn't realize until, like you said, I was, you know, thrown in there, and, you know, that it was important for me to think about the financials of going to college. And I think for me, I felt like, you know, I mean, there's some pressure from your peers too about going to like a university or going away from college, and that wasn't on my radar. And I think, but after that, I think I realized that, you know, for me, the cost of college was more important. So I think it's, you know, it's really about just, I mean, what's important. I think going to community college, you save a lot of money that way, and that's something that I kind of wish that I knew before.
Or just
you know,
like
just
being
going
okay
into-
with forging your own path.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think you have to go to college. I think in this day and age, we're a global economy. I think that you have to have a skill or a trade, and whether that's through college or whether it's through a trade school or whether it's apprenticing through photography or something else that you're doing, it doesn't have to be a 4-year degree, but I think it needs to be something. And I wish that I had realized it's a lot of the key to college. I think if you're going to go that route is time management, and they try to do a good job in high school with that, but there's no teacher telling you, did you do this assignment? Did you finish this?
Yeah.
Did you finish your paper?
Yeah.
And so that's very important. It's all about you and how you spend your time and how you prioritize in college. Yeah.
So then to kind of wrap it up, do you want to share a little bit about what kind of any plan you do have in place, or even a general idea?
Sure. So like I have a general idea right now. I'm kind of in the middle of researching colleges, but I do want to go away for college.
Going away
sure.
as in like another country, another state?
Yeah, probably
Another island.
State. Yeah, probably another state. But I was also thinking about another country. Me and my grandma were just talking about European, the American universities in Europe. So that's kind of cool to
Cool.
consider. But yeah, I'm just doing a bunch of research right now. Yeah.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
good to hear. Doing a bunch of research.
Yeah, that's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know, given the choice, I wish I had gone away. UH was great. I had a great experience there, but that's another thing I wish somebody had told me. It's a great opportunity to
Yeah,
experience
definitely.
a bigger world out there in college. So,
Cool. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
using
Go away if you can.
college.
Yeah, if you have the opportunity,
yeah.
I think so too.
Not
Yeah.
great. Yeah, and on that note, for me, I realized in college there's so many resources, and they're like, speaking of going away, like I was able to start traveling because I found activities or conferences and was able, as a student, oh my God, there's so many resources at college where like, you know, oh, I need to go to this conference, or, you know,
Yeah.
finding that kind of stuff. College is a really great way to explore things.
exactly.
So that's cool. So we're kind of at the end. So thank you guys again so much for taking the time out of your day. So many representations of the program. It's really great. Anyone interested in learning more, you can check out our website at holomuaprogram.weebly.com or the Big Brothers Big Sisters Hawaii website, which is
It is bbbshawaii.org.
yeah. And that kind of concludes our episode. So
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Great.
Oh.